This is the most I've cared about sports ball in, well, ever. Leave it to Mario, man. He can do anything. Anything except make rabbits tolerable, of course. We got a bunch of new subs last week. Thanks! Hi, how are you? What's your favorite color? Favorite food? Let me know all of that in the comments. Anyway, as some of you guys know, I went to PAX East last week, and while I played some games, I didn't really learn anything worth scripting a full video about. But I do have thoughts on the games that I did play, and also if you want to hear anything about the shenanigans that me and Bob from the Wolf Den got into, or anything like that, tune into our podcast this week, Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on this channel. Also iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, any other podcast service, except for Spotify. Don't ask me why. Sore subject. With that being said, I obviously do have something I want to talk about this week. Sports. Specifically, Mario Sports. Mario Tennis Aces is one of my most anticipated games coming to Switch. Nintendo knows how to make tennis games all kinds of people want to play. It doesn't matter if you're a hardcore tennis fan, a casual Mario fan, or any combination of the two in either direction. Mario Tennis Aces specifically brings the series back from the Wii U Dark Ages by further improving upon the technical side of the actual tennis play, while simultaneously maintaining the awesome craziness that's introduced thanks to the nonsensical world of Mario. Mario Tennis, just like all of the other Mario sports games, are normally good for the same reason any Nintendo take on a genre is. They take a beloved formula, make it approachable for the masses, including the people that don't give about sports, and throws in all of the Mario goodies, things like fireballs, stars, flowers. All of the Mario stuff is mixed in. There's usually an option to turn all of that stuff off and just play straight up whatever sport the game is based on, but it's not Smash Bros. If you're playing these games, it's probably because you want those things. I could potentially see that change with all of the aforementioned technical stuff being added into Mario Tennis Aces, but I'm going to slap a huge TBD on that. But for me, Mario Tennis Aces isn't a game I think is worth speculating about. Not because I don't think it's good or that there isn't anything to go in depth about, but because, well, it's tennis. Anything that we need to know has already been shown and announced in detail. Sure, we'll maybe get some unannounced characters or courses, but outside of that, I don't need to know more. Speculating about that stuff wouldn't be interesting to me because it's not really that kind of game. However, what I would find to be an interesting thing to speculate about is where Mario sports games could go next. Some places they've already been, some places they've kind of been, and some places they haven't even come close to. So let's get into those. First and foremost, football. And no, UK viewers, I don't mean soccer. I mean football. Football. Hashtag fight me. Hashtag JK. I love you, baby. Football is a sport that I think is perfect for Mario for a few reasons. The most obvious base level one being charging chucks. This enemy in my mind is one of the more iconic enemies in the series as a Super Mario World fan. This enemy stressed me out as a kid. Now it moderately confuses me. Why did he throw baseballs and try to tackle you? Also, was he a frog in disguise? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but turtles can't jump. Anyway, Charging Chuck would have a literal field day in this game. Beyond that, the Mario sports player types could be an interesting twist on how player positions work in football. This is going to get technical for any non-sports fans, but don't worry, I got you covered. Stick with me. Editor Nate, make sure you put some Sports for Dummies explanations on the screen anytime I mention anything that's literally inside baseball terms. All-around types being great quarterbacks, tight ends, or any other position with a mixture of responsibilities. Speed types could be good running backs and wide receivers. Power types are good for defensive positions, and technical types are good for the boring positions like a kicker. Or why not get weird and give us the option to make weird team comps? Whichever works. I want a team full of Waluigis. We know there will be some sort of challenge with a team full of Charging Chucks or one giant Bowser. We'd also likely have Miis that will have a type assigned based on their height and weight. Most of these games do. Or maybe the Mii can be the coach. Fields with environmental hazards could stand to be an interesting shakeup for a football game as well. What would playing football on Seaside Kingdom be like? What if Gushins randomly splashed and absorbed water on the field to influence player movement? What about Wooded Kingdom? Could uproots help the defense get an interception if you're not careful? Or we could go retro. Let me have a vanilla football stadium based on Acorn Plains from New Super Mario Bros. U or something. In a world like Mario, there's a lot of places you could go for this. Nintendo should go in as many of them as possible. Go wild. There's no other game like this, so the weirder the better. People that want Madden can play Madden. If you're playing the Mario football game, you're obviously in for the weird. In addition to that, allow for the option to play versions of any stage without hazards for the weirdos that want that sort of thing, I guess. Controls for this game I think would be the most interesting. I'm not sure if the traditional football setup would work for a super casual football game like this. A simplified approach to how plays work should be at the very least an option. Maybe even an adaptive real-time system where you have an option to wing your plays as you go. That may be a complicated thing to make work on the AI side, but if done right, the AI should be able to see whether you plan to run or pass, where you plan to go so they can attempt to create a path, or on the defense, what teammates are best suited in what parts of the field to defend you. Alongside that, a traditional system should of course be available as well for the people that want more control over their plays. Whether those people be players of traditional football games or Mario football players that have grown accustomed to how calling plays works. Game modes could be a Mario version of what's offered in Madden games. Give me a story mode, give me a franchise mode where your role is more of a managerial one. Give me training mini games, give me a mode for creating custom preset plays with the Switch's touchscreen, and most importantly, give me a bunch of online options, online seasons, tournaments, and versions of most of the other modes I mentioned. I'd be 1000% sold on a game like this. Problem is, there's one major roadblock for a game like this. Its international appeal is nowhere near the level of other Mario sports games. Baseball is international, tennis is international, soccer is easily the most international sport. Football is pretty confined to North America. With that being said, since when has low sales in some regions deterred Nintendo when there are regions with a strong demand? A Mario football game is something I see having a huge potential in the US, which to be fair is Nintendo's biggest market currently. Beside that, a game like this doesn't need to be $60 million and sell 5 million copies. If they could get by with 2 million sales on Breath of the Wild, they can get by with half of that at least for something like this. Football for me would be the most interesting place to take Mario sports games, but that doesn't mean there's nowhere else I want to see them go. I want more Mario baseball, give me more strikers. I can definitely go for a deeper Mario basketball game than the DS Hoops game, and of course Mario Golf would be right at home on Switch. Basically, what I'm saying is, give me literally every Mario sports game imaginable. I will buy all of them, I promise. And I know from this video it may seem like I'm reasonably into sports, but I'm definitely not. My only real touchstones with sports are games like these Mario sports games, NBA, NFL, and FIFA Street, and friends and family that are into sports. Your sports games help me connect with my family, Nintendo. Make the game and put that on the box. Also, honorable mention, I'd also be down for some Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games in 2020 when those rolled around. These games are a lot less of a good mixture of technical and casual play. They're typically best at having dumb fun with the track and field games. They may be able to add value to all of the other stuff like skeet shoot and archery and whatnot, given the fact that motion is vastly improved upon with the Joy-Con when compared to Wii Motion Plus. In fact, why don't they just like make all of these games, I don't know, good? I mean, don't get me wrong, they're good in a dumb snack foodie kind of way, but we could be seeing a lot better if they gave it a real shot. Also, speaking of dumb snack food, how would that work if esports in the Olympics becomes a thing? What if Sega like made a battle royale game within the game? What if that's like the best part of the game? Weird, but interesting thing to consider. Anyway, as I said, I'm not a huge sports guy, but I'm all about some fun games, and Mario sports games are typically exactly that. I'm ready to play Mario Tennis Aces, and I'll be cool if that was going to be the only sports game we got for a while. But Nintendo, if you're down to make more, sign me up for more ASAP. But those are my thoughts. What do you think? What Mario sports games do you want to see? Are you excited for Mario Tennis Aces? What do you want in that game? Let me know that and more in the comments down below. Like my ideas? Like the video, and share this video with a friend who also wants more Mario sports games and or is excited for Mario Tennis Aces. And make sure you subscribe and ring the bell for more videos like this every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, if you're in the podcast and you want to hear me and my friend Logan talk about you guys' comments comments from YouTube and in our Discord, link in the description. Join our Discord. You can check all that stuff out on our podcast every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time here on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, every other podcast thing except for Spotify because they hate us. Okay, that's it for me. See you next week.